things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unserious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. Go sis.
First things first. KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing every day is giving thanks and giving praises and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Got a little keyboard, that little singing starts us off every day. Much love to my brother Alexander Marlowe, who produced that track and plays keyboards on it. And my niecey, Maya DiPrima, singer. You might want to keep your eye out for her. She's studying over in London, and she's quite an accomplished musician. Okay, so happy hump day. I wanted to say Talking Point Tuesday because on these 4-day weeks, my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing always gets off. But yes, it is indeed a wealth building Wednesday, and this is how we do things around here on a day such as this. Hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town. Kick off hour two with a Wealth Building Wednesday, putting the spotlight on a small business, Black-owned, BIPOC, women-owned, or socially innovative enterprise or resource for those. And that's what we do because we're all about recycling Black dollars, doing better, recycling community dollars, supporting those local businesses that keep us all employed, engaged. I know we love to shop online, but we're also very committed to making sure that the community thrives as well. So if you're interested in getting on a Wealth Building Wednesday, just DM me, particularly on Instagram. That's my favorite place to be, but anywhere. Or at KBLA 1580 or hit me up directly at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. Tell me about your business, and boom, we make it happen like that. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And then hour two, after we do our Wealth Building Wednesday piece, we open up the phone lines and talk about national conversations, and there's always so many of them. And then hour three, we do a deep dive with a person of interest, a hot topic, and the like. And I should say, and you know this if you're part of the KBLA delegation, which you most likely are, that the phones are always open to you during this show at 800-920-1580. Not to mention, you can hop in the YouTube conversation in the comment section. I'm streaming there. You can see me. You can see Miles in the background. You can, so you tap in that way at KBLA 1580. When you go to youtube.com, looking forward to the conversation with Dr. James Lance Taylor, who'll join us in hour three for our deep dive. The topic, understanding the political shifts that are happening right now in Washington. Dr. Taylor is a noted political scientist and really has a lot of insight as a professor there at University of San Francisco in political science, really has a lot of insight into what all of these moves that are being made so rapidly in our country and internationally too, but really mostly focusing today on what's happening with the USA, what it all means in terms of our changing form of government, our rights or not rights. So that's what we're looking at today. All right. So, if you want to call me, please do 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. It's so funny because many times when I'm talking to you on the phone, on the air, on the radio, on the microphone, on the telephone, in the YouTubes. Things are unfolding or unraveling in real time. So that's why you see me apparently multitasking. So I have just gotten word that today hour one will be me, you, and the microphone, telephone. Wasn't the plan, but that's how we roll. We just keep it pushing. There's always so much to unpack. And so, yeah, it's the perfect time to call me. I got time today. So apparently they want us to put our masks back on, Miles, and be mindful of COVID if we're in California. We broadcast from Leimert Park, Africatown, USA. And apparently they want us to mask up because COVID is back. And I know there's a little bit of person who cried wolf, boy who cried wolf energy around this, because it seems like we're always getting these warnings about COVID is back. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to get that sucker again.
You roll around with your mask anyway.
Not all the time, but yeah, sometimes.
Well, I mean, I've traveled with you too, so I've seen you mask up.
Right. Oh yeah. If I'm on a plane, hell yeah, I'm masked up. I'm not going on an international or a national flight without a mask because that's recycled air for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes if I'm at a concert, for example, you want to see and be seen, want to have the mask off.
Right, yeah, right.
Or in a club. No, not right now. Because I don't want to get that razor blade sore throat that folks are reporting with this particular mutation.
You know anybody that's
COVID.
gotten it recently?
Yes, actually several people. And they sometimes you can get it and it doesn't feel like much. And other times it can really take you down. And I don't want to get it again. I just don't. It's not fun. California has high COVID levels in the sewage. This is one of the ways that they test to see how prevalent it is how much it's coming out in the potty. And according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which apparently is still functioning, we have a lot all over California, Bay Area here in L.A. And it's kind of like, our late summer now. So there's lots of parties and opportunities to go out. And yeah, just be careful. We're having our summer COVID wave. I don't like having on a mask. I'm not going to lie. But I like it better than getting coronavirus for sure. And the other thing is if you're older American or if you have a comorbidity, that's a word I learned during the pandemic, comorbidity. In other words, if you have something that makes you vulnerable, like you have asthma or obesity or any kind of respiratory challenge, you can really get sick. You can even still die, even though they have all these treatments. So something to know, not to freak you out, but just to make you have an informed decision. Do you mask up, Miles, when you go out? Like for example,
Not really.
No, not really.
Not as much as I should, but yeah.
I mean, you're young and healthy. You don't have comorbidity. You're definitely not obese, but I don't know. I just certain places, like in the Hollywood Bowl when we went to see Babyface and Uncle Charlie and Casey.
Been to the bowl a few times, by the way.
Yeah, I love the bowl.
Yeah.
It's nice. Anyway, yeah, I think we're going next week to see Harlem Dance Theater there. Yeah.
Might as well get like a residency there. And just
yeah, I'll just couch surf off my friends that have residencies there. But anyway, I wasn't in a mask because we're outside. We're at Hollywood Bowl. But when we leave and you're in the tunnel with everybody and it's all crunched in, yes, I'm going to have a mask in my purse.
I got you.
I don't even want to get the flu. But in any case, yeah, it's back. The Rona is back. And I'm not trying to freak you out, but the times I've gotten it, like when I got it at the DNC, I was so mad at myself. Because I knew it was preventable, honestly, I knew that if I would have masked up in there, I would have been fine. But at the same time, you're competing for interviews with big name people, and the other people don't have their masks on. It's kind of hard to talk someone into an interview when you are masked.
Right.
Anyway, food for thought, y'all. I just want you to be safe. Man.
If you do get sick, like what's the protocol now for if you get sick? How many days do you stay away from people? What's your, you know what I mean? Are we still social distancing after that? Is there still time off work? Are they still pushing vaccines? Like, what is the COVID protocol on September 3rd, 2025?
Well, you are supposed to stay home until you can test negative. I think it's twice. You got to test negative and you don't have symptoms. But the main symptom being fever. But I don't think people follow that anymore. I think people are walking around sick all the time, especially if you've had it several times and you're not that sick, so a person can still function and be passing it to you, still be shedding the virus, but they're functional because they've had it a few times. But because a lot of folks are not getting those booster shots and the new versions of the shots, and then if you've had it, your immunity is wearing off because it's been a minute. That's why so many people are getting sick right now. So theoretically, you take the shot. You take the test, and you test negative, and then you don't have symptoms. You could go back to work.
Gotcha.
But, no one's paying attention, which is another reason to protect yourself. No one is paying attention. They're just walking around breathing on you. I guess we'll talk about this a little when we come forward. I found it. Did you see Cardi B on the stand at all? She had a civil case, and her testimony was all over the internets because she was hilarious on the stand, and apparently it worked because she was found not liable for assault in a civil case. A security guard had sued her, saying she cussed her out, called her the N-word, and hit her. But she was found not liable. Didn't surprise me because the security guard had the worst time on the stand ever. Like, she couldn't even remember what she accused Cardi B, where Cardi B supposedly hit her in her face and where she supposedly cut her. And I don't care if it's not Cardi B. If someone cuts my face or hits my face, I'm going to remember where.
Right.
First it was the nose, then it was the cheek, then she said, it's on the paper. So anyway, I thought it was interesting. And I think there's some lessons to be learned from Cardi B's time on the stand. And it was, I never can keep track of when they can film it and when they can't film it. I know that federal cases can't be filmed, but beyond that, I can't really track it. Or I don't. So in this case, it's all on tape. And it's classic Cardi B. I don't know if you or I should try that, but maybe. 800-920-1580. If you've got a thing to say about a thing, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve the stories of black land loss before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandloss.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. Picked up for 40 days of consistency. On low Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, you're back at me. And as usual, our comments in the chat room are on and popping. Good morning, Molly Bell, Morris Phillips, and all of our early risers in the KBLA delegation. We appreciate you. Morris says it's a beautiful morning for protesting the LA County Office of Education Save Public Education in Inglewood. That is his personal crusade. If you have a personal crusade and you want to share it, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. That is the number to call. So the Cardi B civil trial caught my attention. And Miles, you said it might be album promotion.
And it's perfect timing. That's it. It lines up perfect with the label issues. It lines up perfect with the Stephon Diggs fling. The summer's coming to an end. The singles started to roll out. Not saying you can control the courts, of course not. But I understand trolling. I speak internet fluently these days.
So you're saying not that her publicist planned the civil trial because you can't control the calendar of the courts, but the way she was acting up might have been a performance for her album. And if that was an album promotion, it was successful because watching her clap back and run those attorneys all around, like she made them look stupid. it made me think, I wonder if this girl really does write some of her own material.
I mean, she's a social media star. That's where she came from to begin with. She based her whole, career off of internet.
True.
I mean, social media fame and reality TV type antics and communicating with people. So yeah, indeed, it's an out rollout.
Yeah, she has a big personality. That's part of what got her where she is. But it wasn't just that. If she was smart, I mean, some of the stuff she came back with was intelligent. They were setting traps for her to show that she was abusive and problematic and ghetto, and she wasn't falling into those traps. That's not that easy. And I think, well, she showed up in a suit and she came across as humble and believable and real. And so even though she was being a smart ass, so I think that's the takeaway. That's actually worked for me before too. Not in court, but in other situations that are similar to that I don't want to share.
I mean, we see this type of thing happen a few other times as well. We've seen this in like Lil Wayne. He had a famous police interview that kind of went viral. Tupac's had these moments.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's not out the ordinary that we get these types of performances on the stage when we can.
Yeah, but it says something about your talent, whatever that might be.
Right.
You think it's just internet trolling. I also think it speaks to some level of intelligence. Don't come over here trying to set me up. Call this girl fat. There was one moment on the stand where the lawyer tried to get her to repeat whatever she said to the girl. So he's like, say it to her. And Cardi looked over at her lawyer with a look like, that's the and then she go, you want me to say that to her face? Obviously, he thought she was stupid and she would just start calling this girl all kinds of fat B's, on demand, and that didn't happen. And of course, the classic line was, he said, did you call her fat? And she said, no, I was calling her a B. Anyway, so you were saying it fits in line with the label stuff, and I wasn't tracking that. You said Cardi's label was sold?
Oh, she was under the whole quality control QC 300 imprint. That's kind of what Cardi's whole base is around. The same thing as, the Migos and Quavo and Young Thug and Coach K. I'm not Coach K. What's his name? P from QC. He's one of the main owners and founders of QC, the label. They end up selling the record label, and we know hip hop is in a real downtrod as far as financing and budgets go right now. So I think it's just perfect that Cardi B is utilizing the internet how she is on part of what I think is this rollout right now. So yeah.
That's album promotion. Well, good for her. She sees the moment. And the security guard was trying to get $24 million out of her, and instead she gets millions of dollars worth of album promotion.
Right. Because Eazy said, what did he say about going to the White House?
Yeah, he told me that many years ago. He said that he paid $5,000 he donated to the Bush campaign, and he said he got millions of dollars worth of promotion all around the world. That was before the internet was big. So yeah, same thing, I guess. Except he created his by actually going to the White House and having dinner with the Bushes, which was not popular, and which I called him out for. That's why he said that to me. I was like, why would you do that stupid-ish? And I couldn't argue with that answer. So I guess it's a craft that's been around forever. But when you put it like that, it makes you wonder about a lot of things. People do. And I wonder how her album is doing. But I don't know. You think hip hop is downtrodden? I mean,
I think the funding is leaving hip hop. I think the money that these big labels have been putting into it aren't seeing the return of it as much as they probably are used to. I think that there are these big acts that are keeping the lights on at these major labels,
like Drake and Kendrick and.
You're saying that too, but I'm talking about in different genres now are starting to keep the lights on for some of these major hip hop artists. But I don't think that's cutting down on the quality of the music, in my opinion. But I do think that the labels and that top end and the industry, they in trouble.
Well, I mean, that's the entertainment industry across the board, I think, right now. And that's, I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. The auditions are down. You don't, see as many productions. A lot of people lost their deals. We had a strike. We had the industry claiming that they're reformatting their corporate structure. And then you have AI, which is taking work from people. It is happening now. It's not something we're anticipating in the future. It's here now. I think you and I had an off-air conversation about these AI commercials. And they're using AI models, fashion models now. A lot of the writing and directing of a commercial that would have cost, $500,000 is now $10,000, $20,000 when everything is done with AI. And that's great for the companies, but not so great for the talent. And I think that's changing the approach that some of these big investors have towards the entertainment business, changing the business model in a way that is not going to be good for creators. Even YouTube, I was reading about how right now they're using the content that they have already on YouTube to train AI to make content like what's already on YouTube. So using your content to train you out of a job. And I think we look at it on the micro level, someone's stealing my stuff. But if you look at it on the macro level, it means that corporations in the entertainment space may feel that they don't need humans.
I think we need to do like a big retraining of everybody. Like the artists need to retrain themselves to learn how to use these types of tools, one. And I think the bigger thing is we need to retrain ourselves as people and consumers to eat from the artists and not just eat from the platforms. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Don't give your money to YouTube. Give your money and your attention to the actual artists that are creating the art. So regardless of what it's used to create with, it's the artists you follow and not the platform that's pushing it.
And that's the pushback. That's the creative pushback to the billionaire oligarchy age that we're in. News, traffic, and sports, then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Thousands marched across LA for Labor Day demanding stronger worker protections and slamming President Trump for weakening unions.
I wanted to be out here to send a message that the working class deserve to be respected.
The White House responded, saying the president is, quote, finally putting American workers first. Black residents of St. Louis are demanding justice after the U.S. Army admitted to secretly spraying toxic zinc cadmium sulfide in their neighborhood during the 1950s. Black Representative Wesley Bell is backing calls for compensation as survivors link the exposure to long-term health issues. And Meek Mill says he's building an AI tool that can change the world. The rapper teased the project on X but hasn't shared details yet. Fans are curious and some skeptical as Meek expands his reach beyond music. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Rams coach Sean McVay is confident quarterback Matthew Stafford will start the regular season opener Sunday against Houston. The 37-year-old Stafford missed all of the preseason and most of training camp with an aggravated disc in his lower back. Stafford is scheduled to practice with the first unit all week to get ready for Sunday. Jackson State moved up to number 15 in this week's top 25 Division I AA college football poll. Jackson State is the only HBCU team ranked in the top 25. The Tigers opened the season Saturday with a 28-14 win over Hampton. Top 5 teams in this week's Division I poll: Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Georgia, and Miami. The Dodgers lost to Pittsburgh 9-7. They still have a 2.5-game lead over San Diego in the NL West. The Angels beat Kansas City 5-1, a 2-run homer for right fielder Joe Adele. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You hear that? That's Mike, sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. We've had our guest for today called off, so it's a perfect time to call me. There's so much going on, and we've got space for you. 800-920-1580. Have you ever seen this hand signal? You see it on. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it on TikTok. I don't know where else. But it's where you kind of fold your thumb over your palm, and you have four fingers out, and you have your hand behind your back. Your fingers are out like this, hand behind back. I've seen it in videos, and I didn't know if it worked in real life. It's supposed to mean help. Like if you see a woman with her, especially if she's with a partner, a seeming romantic partner. She puts her hand behind her back with the four fingers out. It's supposed to mean help. I'm in a domestic violence situation and I'm calling for help. And I've seen that. I've seen it in a bunch of videos where then someone would come and intervene, or they'd call the cops, or they would just start walking with the woman. They would walk over to her and act like they knew her and walk away with her. Like, I've seen various responses to it, but I didn't know if that was a very online thing or if it was an in real life thing. And apparently it's in a real life thing, because this happened at the 7-Eleven in Alhambra this week here in LA County. A woman put her hand behind her back and made that signal. She was inside the store with this dude, and the guy was getting hot dogs and, all that 7-Eleven junk food. The person saw it. They were familiar with it from TikTok. They called 911. The cops came, and then they arrested the guy. He ran away. They arrested him. He threw down his big bite hot dog box and the stuff he had bought at 7-Eleven and took off running. But they caught him, and it turns out that he had a warrant for his arrest for domestic violence, had a stun gun with him, and had apparently was wanted because of battery on this person, this woman who gave that signal. He's being held without bail in downtown LA right now, and he'll go to court next week. But apparently the same person was arrested 3 times last year for violating parole, and I found out that this was real. I didn't know that you can either have your fingers out or you can tuck your thumb under your fingers. And I guess this comes from Canada, the Canadian Women's Foundation. If someone gives that to you, you're meant to try to find them help, so that you could either in person or by video show that you need help, that you need a problem, and that you are having a problem. And apparently people have been rescued using the signal. I didn't know. I thought it might be just like an online thing. You know, sometimes things live online and not in reality. But I think we're pretty sure that works, because apparently this woman got rescued. And I've also seen videos where no one does anything, but that's because maybe they don't know or they're scared. Not everybody wants to intervene. I had a friend who intervened when a man was beating up a woman in the park across the street from my house. This is a different house than the one I live in. Now, she didn't need to do a signal because he was clearly beating her up. And my friend went over to try to stop him, and he shot him. Shotgun to the chest. Life-altering for the guy, for the Good Samaritan. So I can see why people would hesitate to help. But the thing about that signal is it would let someone discreetly ask for help without shouting help, help, or getting in a situation where that bystander has to intervene themselves. Yeah, so anyway, good for them for paying attention. And this is the upside of social media, right? Something like that spreads around on social media can end up saving someone's life or helping them out of a really tricky situation. So that's the upside of social media. I think we rag on how it changes our lives and makes people act fake and puts mental health pressure on folks, and all of that is true, but there's also lots of opportunity and lots of situations like this where social media makes a difference in a positive way. I found a dead guy yesterday in the lake here in LA in MacArthur Park. They don't know why he died, if he was murdered or he just died and fell in the lake. But it doesn't make me want to go and get in the little paddle boats in MacArthur Park. No. I mean, rest in peace to the dead guy. I don't mean to be insensitive, but when you look at that lake, it doesn't look inviting. And when they start pulling dead people out of it, it makes it even less inviting. It was the day before yesterday, apparently. There's an investigation underway, and police say they don't know how he ended up in the lake. He had all of his clothes on. He may have been unhoused. They can't really tell. They're still trying to identify him, but yes, a lot. And of course, you remember that particular park had a huge encampment for a long time. And it was a subject of controversy when they cleared out the encampment, even though, from what I understand, most of those people actually were housed, at least temporarily. Some of them may have gone back out. But that was real controversial because that park had become just a giant encampment. They moved the people out. It was a big protest and standoff. And now It seems to be more back to being a full-time, just a park. But, yeah, no. That's all bad for me. And then yesterday, Ed and I were talking about the Olympics and how the Olympics are coming. I mean, a lot of people are saying don't do it. We are still recovering from the fires. Our budget is down. We can't afford it. Folks are concerned that the unhoused will be pulled off the streets to make the city look good for the Olympics, as has happened in cities around the world. But it's happening. We signed a contract. We can't get out of the contract. We're liable for a whole bunch of money. We're liable for a whole bunch of money whether the Olympics come or they do not come. But it's coming. The contract was signed by the mayor. It was signed by then Mayor Eric Garcetti, then Council President Herb Wesson. The Olympics are coming. And so to me, the thing to do is be on the winning side of it as a community, as a city, as a movement. And I know there are plenty of progressives that don't like the Olympics. I'm not one of those. I love the Olympics. I love the international exchange, the gathering of people, the exposure of different cultures, the incredible athletic achievements of it, seeing black excellence. I know that term is out of style, but the Olympics are certainly a great example of that, and excellence of everybody, but black excellence always extra shines. It's out of style because we want to be able to be average and not have to be excellent to be deemed worthy of living. I get that. The pressure of we must be black excellence, and this Generation Z and the Gen A are saying we want to just be able to live. We don't want to have to be excellent and perfect to be able to be deemed worthy. I get that, but nevertheless, Olympics is really black excellence on 10. And LA Times had a very interesting article yesterday about how the billionaires and millionaires, multimillionaires and billionaires are already reserving their Airbnb for 2028. And they're not your Airbnb or my Airbnb. They're these huge mansions. 20 bathroom, 10 bedroom mansions are apparently in high demand right now for 2028 because the millionaires and billionaires want to come to LA for the Olympics. And of course, that's one reason why many see it as an opportunity, because people come and they spend money. I'm wondering if the millionaires and billionaires are also Airbnb-ing huge mansions for the World Cup, because that's a lot sooner. That's in next year. But there's a agency called LuxJB, and they Airbnb these giant mansions, 39,000 square foot, 9-bedroom, 4 kitchens, a gym, a spa, a movie theater, a pickleball court, a basketball court, and it comes with 3 maids. And apparently just got rented out for January to August of 2028 at $300,000 a month. That's $2.4 million. And apparently they paid it in advance. God, that's a level of wealth that doesn't even register for most of us. But those are the people that are running the country and the world. $300,000 a month, and that's for your vacation spot because you're just going to the World Cup for a few months, 8 to be exact. You still got to pay your regular mortgage. So yeah, the World Cup is coming. Maybe find a way to get on the good foot and profit from it or enjoy it. The World Cup is coming. The Olympics are coming. I want to go. I don't want to go get a $300,000 a month mansion, but I want to get into one of these venues and watch some boxing or some track or something. And I'm going to be tracking how to get on the list. Ed knows because he's done it every time since 1984. Perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Imagine a world without heart disease and stroke, where every person has the chance to live a full and healthy life. Join us for a walk to save lives at the American Heart Association's Greater Los Angeles Heart and Stroke Walk, Saturday, September 20th at the Rose Bowl. Every step made and every dollar raised means more people learning CPR, more life-saving research, and more time with the ones we love. Sign up at heartwalkla.org. The LA Heart and Stroke Walk is sponsored by Optum, UCLA Health, Keck Medicine of USC, and Dignity Health.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, we are so glad you're here. So Cabot Haynes in the chat was asking about the high-speed rail project between LA and Vegas and asking whether it would be ready for the Olympics, and the answer is no, because they have pushed back the date on that so-called Bright Line West train, which is supposed to go from Las Vegas to LA, from your hometown to your current home, Miles. It's supposed to go 200 miles an hour, meaning you could get from LA to Vegas in 2 hours. Originally, they wanted to have it open by 2028. They did a groundbreaking in 2024, but now they've pushed back the date. So it looks more like 2029, 2030 before that would open. There was a race to see whether that one was going to open first or the one between San Francisco and LA would open first. But I think the Vegas one will, because the Trump administration is pulling funding away from the Bay Area, Bay to LA train. And I don't know where state lawmakers are going to get that money. I don't know. Maybe they can pull a rabbit out of their hat, but that's a very expensive project. And it's taken a lot of down talking on on conservative social media as well as some areas of the press. I am a proponent of the high-speed rail. I've ridden them when I was in Japan. It's dope. You have to go 150 miles an hour or faster to be considered high-speed rail. I know it's a hassle to build it, and it is expensive. But when you look at how high gas is now, and it's going to keep going higher, and all of the challenges that we have with transportation, once you have it up, it's really worthwhile. You can go all across Japan in a heartbeat on the high-speed rail, and it's brilliant. And it would think of the options if you could commute from Vegas to LA on a train.
Well, my question is, Dominique, would that be like both states have to chip in on that deal, or would that make a difference? Fact that there's 2 states involved in that and not 2 states involved in the LA to the Bay one?
Well, the thing is, the Brightline West is a private company, so they can build it as they have funding to build it. Whereas the high-speed rail in California is publicly funded. So I think that means the private one will probably end up being done first, because they're relying on funding, which keeps, it either comes in or it doesn't come in, depending on who's in power and what's in fashion. Republicans generally have been against the high-speed rail. Dems in general have been for it. I know Newsom wants to make it happen. The thing is, if you look at these trains in Europe and in Asia, they're very popular, and they're popular because you get from point A to point B quickly, don't have to have a car, and it's not expensive. But the challenge is getting it on its feet, and it's not something we're used to. We don't have high-speed rail in the United States. It's all over Canada. It's all over Europe. And that means we're behind in key technology here. And it's always, it costs too much money. Yeah, it does, but so does having a car and insurance and paying for gas. China has 30,000 miles of high-speed rail. That's crazy. Anyway, let's go to Paul calling us from L.A. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing today?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're going to have a nice conversation on Newsom soon, but that's not the reason I'm calling today. See, you was trying to pull me a whole other direction again. But no, I wanted to give a discussion to what's essentially on the line coming up this upcoming election. I would argue every election matters, and I would really implore our people to get engaged with their civic duty. But in the 2020 election, I know you know this because we've had the discussion. There was there was a push for Trump right when January 6th happened, for the people in Congress, in the House, to not confirm the election. Right? The difference in the 2020 election is the Democrats held the House at that time. The reason all this is going on today with the gerrymandering and everything is because they need to hold the House. Why do they need to hold the House? Because once again, the Speaker of the House, in the party in power, have the ability to confirm the election. So if they hold the House, their plan for 2026 is hold the House so they can just declare, no matter how it works out, that the election is either fraudulent or they certify the election if they win. That's why you're dealing with all this gerrymandering and everything, because they need to hold the House on their end.
You're talking about 2028, the election in 2028.
But that's why 2026 matters. This is why we're dealing with all of this right now, because they have to keep the House. This is why the whole gerrymandering thing is even happening to begin with, because in normal times, you already know that the party in power that overreaches, which in this case they have all 3 chambers of they have the presidency, they have Congress, and they have the judicial branch, basically, right? So the Senate, the House, and the presidency. So in this case, typically the party in power loses the power,
right?
Which was going to happen.
Right, because they're overreaching like crazy people and doing terrible things. But, I mean, it's very insightful what you're saying, is that as long as they control the House, they control the outcome of the 2028 election. There's other reasons, too, right? I mean, this Project 2025 agenda that they're enacting step by step, bit by bit, at a very rapid speed. Some of it requires legislative moves that they are going to need the House of Representatives for, just like that big ugly bill. If Dems get control of the House, at least they can block the agenda. It's highly unlikely we'll get the Senate because of the unfair way that Senate seats are handed out. But we could stop the agenda. We could obstruct, and that, I think, is also another reason.
Yeah, but remember that everything they're doing now is illegal. When the courts are saying, even the judges that he nominated and got confirmed are saying you can't do that, they're doing it anyway. The difference is that if they can get the House, you'll start seeing hearings on that stuff. You'll start seeing committees put together to basically essentially try to hold people accountable, but they won't confirm it. But I wasn't calling about that. I just want to say this: as a voting base for Black people overall, some of our top issues, and a lot of times a lot of people miss this, is the economy and healthcare. Those are always two of the top three issues when it comes to, and obviously us fighting against social injustice and racial inequality and everything. Jobs, the economy, Black entrepreneurship, those are all things that matter. We have watched directly the Black household attacked directly through our Black women overall. And that is a direct attack on Black homes. That we have watched, and this is kind of, and I know we're at the end of the hour, I want to say this. The National Community Reinvestment Coalition actually did a study on this. And over 500 majority Black neighborhoods have been affected by gentrification over the past 50 years, which in turn has impacted over 500,000 Black people. Elections matter, people. I know you're at the end of the hour, Dominique.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. We're going to do our Wealth Building Wednesday, and then we'll open the phone line. So if you want to respond to what Paul said or you have a point of your own, give me a call. KBLA, Talk 1580.
1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Thousands marched across LA for Labor Day demanding stronger worker protections and slamming President Trump for weakening unions.
I wanted to be out here to send a message that the working class deserve to be respected.
The White House responded saying the president is, quote, finally putting American workers first. Black residents of St. Louis are demanding justice after the U.S. Army admitted to secretly spraying toxic zinc cadmium sulfide in their neighborhood during the 1950s. Black Representative Wesley Bell is backing calls for compensation as survivors link the exposure to long-term health issues. And Meek Mill says he's building an AI tool that can change the world. The rapper teased the project on X but hasn't shared details yet. Fans are curious and some skeptical as Meek expands his reach beyond music. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Rams coach Sean McVay is confident quarterback Matthew Stafford will start the regular season opener Sunday against Houston. The 37-year-old Stafford missed all of the preseason and most of training camp with an aggravated disc. Stafford is scheduled to practice with the first unit all week to get ready for Sunday. Jackson State moved up to number